I felt my heart crack the moment I opened my jewelry box and realized the heirloom ring my mother gave me, her pride, her blessing, her history, was gone. That tiny empty space stared back at me like an accusation, and for a long minute, I simply stood there, breathing in the faint scent of cedar and old perfume, trying not to crumble. My mother gave me that ring on my wedding day. I remember the sunlight catching its gold band, the soft tremble in her voice, the warmth of her hands. It carried her strength, her stories, her sacrifices. So when it vanished, I knew something was deeply wrong. I searched every drawer in my small-town Tennessee home, my slippers brushing against the worn hardwood floors as I opened boxes I hadn't touched in years. But nothing. Only silence and that sinking feeling pressing against my ribs. The only person who had been in my room recently was my daughter-in-law, Jenna. Sweet on the surface, always helpful during family gatherings, but with a coolness underneath, like she was waiting for me to overstep. She often rolled her eyes at my stories, the ones I shared to keep our family history alive. But surely she wouldn't. The truth hit a week later. My son mentioned they were handling a big financial surprise, speaking too quickly, not meeting my eyes. The unease inside me grew roots. I drove into town, past the bakery that smelled of cinnamon and the old bookstore with creaky steps, until I reached the pawn shop on the corner. A bell jingled overhead as I stepped inside. The air smelled of metal and dust, memories long abandoned. Behind the glass counter, nestled between tarnished bracelets and chipped brooches, was my mother's ring. My breath caught. The clerk confirmed it, Jenna had pawned it. The ride home felt endless. When my son and Jenna arrived for Sunday dinner, the house was warm with the scent of pot roast and thyme. I placed the ring on the table like a stone dropped in still water. The room went quiet. Jenna's face drained of color. My son's shoulders slumped. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. In a steady voice, I told them the story behind the ring, how my mother saved for it, how she polished it before handing it to me, how her eyes shone with pride. I watched Jenna's expression shift from guilt to something softer, almost childlike. She apologized, quietly, tearfully, explaining the pressure she'd felt, the mistakes she'd made, the shame that followed. I listened. I accepted her apology. But I also told her trust isn't something easily mended. Yet something unexpected happened. Instead of drifting further, Jenna drew closer. She asked about my mother, about our traditions, about the stories she once brushed aside. My son installed a small safe in my closet, joking that I had treasures worth protecting. Now, the ring rests safely on my finger again, warm, steady, a reminder that even heartbreak can open the door to healing. And that sometimes, the hardest moments become the ones that knit a family back together.